Hello and welcome to Papicock Podcast with your host, hilarious comedian Victor Pacheco. This is going to be a really great show today that we have this episode because I have one of my really great friends that I met right before the pandemic happened, who actually is a totally hilarious, awesome comic, one of the funniest dudes I've ever seen in my life. I want to give it up real big for my friend, Mr. Keith Reza.
Oh, hey, Victor. Thanks for having me on, man. I'm so excited to do your podcast. I mean, wow. We've been friends for 3 years and it took 3 years to do the Papicock podcast. Holy Lord.
Dude, okay, for the record, I only started having guests on towards like when the end of the pandemic started. So that was like maybe like a year ago. And you're my third guest and my second comedian guest.
Did you ever ask any females to do the Papicock podcast?
I don't know. That might seem like battery in this day and age. Like, hey, you want to do Papicock?
Yeah.
No, nobody wants to do Papicock unless this. No, I'm just kidding. Nobody does. It's
just make sure they're 18.
Dude, I don't. Every comic that I know is like, I don't know. Like, it seems now like, I don't know. A lot of midlife crisis comics, you know, like just starting like super late, like 50. Yeah. And like I knew this dude that started when he was like 70 or like 60. 68.
Marty Ross?
No. There's like always like I guess like an old dude in the scene. Like we had a couple, but like ours were like batshit crazy and fun. So like I liked ours.
I did a show the other night and this lady booked this 70-year-old guy who's never done comedy, or maybe he's done comedy like twice his whole life. He was terrible, man. Like
Keith. This is another thing about Keith. Okay, so if you haven't,
he's like, I'm like, Jesus Christ, can this guy like either die on stage or can he just like let me go on so we could have some action? You know what I mean?
Dude, I just think it's hilarious because like I perform with Keith, I open for Keith, we co-open. We never co-headlined, but we've co-opened or just opened. Nobody calls it co-open. So
a dog goes into the bar,
eh? Keith, I have a question about autism really quick. Is this offensive? Yeah, like I'm autistic, or like I fall into the criteria where people when I tell people that I'm autistic, they don't question it.
I think that's brilliant because whenever I tell people,
so it was bad. It was
no,
really bad.
Not at all. Because whenever, for the folks at home, I would say 90% of my comedy, I talk about having autism, and every single show and everyone I meet, they always ask me, do you really have autism? Because like people associate autism with nonverbalness. And, there's different types of autism, kind of like cancer. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I think that's kind of cool that no one like asks you, hey, do you really have autism? You know, like they just take your word for it. Because with me, it's like fucking 20 questions and I have to show them my fucking PhD or some shit.
I don't know. I mean, I was in special ed as a kid, so maybe I like carry those undertones when people see me, I guess, maybe, or I don't know. I have a huge forehead, so maybe people aren't really questioning that. People are like really, really, I don't know, like superficial when it comes to looking at you. So
you definitely have autism because you didn't get my PhD joke. But
dude, I love
but no, I was in special ed too, but I was also in the smart special ed, you know what I mean? Where
wait, what the fuck is smart special ed? Because there's GATE, gifted and talented education program.
Yeah.
Were you in that one?
That's called the smart special ed.
That's not smart special ed. That's fucking that's the gifted program. That's not special
I'm
ed.
Gifted. Yeah, that's what they said. I was gifted.
Oh,
and okay. I was the best person in the class of 3 people. Top of my class.
Dude, top 33%, baby.
Yeah.
Number 1
No, I was number 1, man. Like,
no, I'm saying you're top 1 through 33.
And there's another guy who had autism in my class, but when I was in high school, I was very nonverbal, but this guy was very, very nonverbal. You know what I mean? Like I at least said, hi, Mr. Carpenter, who was my teacher's name. And I was like, what's up, Mr. Carpenter? This guy just didn't even say hi. You know what I mean? So, and then there was a guy in my class who was in a wheelchair, and I don't know if he had cerebral palsy or if he just couldn't walk or whatever, but he was in the class.
And he couldn't talk?
No, he couldn't talk.
Oh, that sucks. Fuck, yeah. Man. Because I've had
But you missed my joke again. You definitely have autism.
Dude, Jesus Christ. I'm like over here like, God damn it. How am I going to fucking break into these comedy related questions? We're all here pouring out our hearts. And I'm just like, yeah, I substitute taught in a class like that. And I had to take a few anxiety pills while I was on the job. You know, thank God that was over 7 years ago, though, right?
The thing about comedy.
God, you didn't even fucking get my fucking joke. That's why you have fucking autism, asshole. You didn't laugh. Because
I got it. But I know
statute of limitations. No, statute of limitations. I meant you. Yeah. I caught you red-headed. I caught you. You can't be calling out these autist moments.
No. I got it. I was just like trying to tell you. Like the thing about comedy, I always say, is comedy needs to have truth in it. And if it's truth, then it's real comedy. Like I did a show the other day, and this guy went on stage. He was like 70 years old, and he was just talking about gibberish that, did not happen to him whatsoever, because I've heard jokes he was doing before from other comedians. So I didn't find him interesting or funny or talented because of that. So I've always said comedy should always have truth. And so when you do stand-up, you should always have a true subject that you talk about, that you write about, that you perform about, regardless if it's funny or not. It will eventually become funny because it's true.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. And I feel like this day and age, like people are so, I don't know, like if they want to be entertained by fantasy, they'll play a video game, or they'll go watch a movie, or they'll go, I don't know, play LARPing, or they'll go LARPing or whatever. And
in my case, it's watch porn.
But that's still fantasy. You know what I mean?
No, that's what I'm saying. That's my fantasy, porn.
Do you ever think about being a porno star and getting into that field of entertainment?
I think that would be my dream job, only because I'm like fucking and sucking all these chicks and dudes. But
how do you feel about like porn stars transitioning into comedy, like Ron Jeremy? And
oh my God, that is the worst comedian I've ever seen.
That's so hilarious, man. I wish this was 5 years ago so we could be like, yeah, he has a huge cock, right? He bagged all those chicks. But then it's just like now
I actually got in trouble for Ron Jeremy because I interviewed Ron Jeremy.
And you asked him questions you shouldn't have asked him, and he answered questions he should have answered.
No. Well, what happened was, this was a thing in the LA Post or something like that. And 3 weeks before he got arrested for, all 800 counts of rape, I interviewed him.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. But at the time I interviewed him, it was all, he hasn't been tried. So technically, from a very technical point of view, he's innocent, right? So that was my defense, because, yeah, you hear these stories and stuff. And I will admit I heard the stories, but also he wasn't tried or anything. So you can't like frown a clown if he hasn't been brown. You know what I mean?
I know what you're saying, like that school of thought, but like my school of thought is like, because I've talked to victims, like, and it sucks because like comedy's like this fucking beautiful, beautiful goddess that like I got to meet great people like you. You're fucking hilarious. You're funny. Keith is actually one of my really good friends, and I'm not just buttering him up. I call Keith for comedy advice, and guess what? He's right like 10 out of 10 times. Yeah. And sometimes 11 out of 10s, because then he'll call something that you're not even asking about. So you don't have to ask Keith. So it's like Keith, because he wants to help me. I'm not saying call Keith if you need advice.
Oh, yeah. I
or Keith might send you a very specific question and bring up something very specific that happened, because Keith has a very photographic memory and can recall incidences that took place exactly to the detail. And it's creepy, because like I'll say something and then he'll laugh hysterically and be like, dude, you're definitely autistic, bro. And I'm just like, dude, fuck you. That isn't what I meant. But yeah, I am.
There's a difference because, I mean, I'll go back to the Ron Jeremy story, but I wanted to comment on what you just said. I take care of you because when I first met you, and I'm actually being very sincere and honest, I fell in love with you immediately.
Likewise, man. I was like, this guy's cool. In the green room at the San Jose Improv.
Was that where it was?
Yeah.
So I remember I loved your jokes and I loved your heart. I think I loved your heart more than your jokes. And I think that's why I made an effort to really look out for you.
And Keith,
it reminded me in a way of me.
Fuck, man. Well, thanks, dude. Like, I really appreciate you saying that because you're a fucking killer. So it's like, cool. If I remind you of a younger...
I'm not a killer. I've never killed anybody in my life.
I met a comedy killer.
Oh, yeah. I'm definitely
not of mood. Killer. Not he goes to comedy clubs and kills the mood because there's those type of self-proclaimed. I killed it. I'm like, you killed the mood. Yeah. You did not kill it.
I was going to say, Victor, I am not a killer. I've never, holy Lord, I've never even hurt a fly. But yes, I have killed people in comedy. Oh, absolutely. I go up and I just destroy because my weapons is my humor, you know what I mean? And I just boom, 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 boom. I'm like an X-Man on stage.
I've gotten 3 people to choke on their food during comedy, but nobody's died. So I'm glad nobody died, but I have gotten 3 people to fuck it, and I've gotten 2 people to fall out of the chairs.
My goal whenever I perform is to get somebody to die.
You want to kill so hard? You want someone to die?
Yeah.
No.
Because then I can live with that. Be like, you know what? I'm so funny. I killed a guy or a baby. I don't know.
Dude, that's horrible. That's horrible. But hilarious.
That should be every comedian's goal.
Look,
like, if that's not your goal, sit down. Don't do comedy because, like, seriously. Hey, did you hear about Keith Reza? Oh my God, the guy's so funny. He kills audiences. Holy Lord, we should get him on this Zoom show.
Dude, I love that it has to be a Zoom show. No, just any show. No, but there was a comedian out of Texas, some Latino dude. He started a GoFundMe for somebody that had a heart attack and then fucking died at his comedy show.
That doesn't count. You have to die at the comedy show.
Like, he started a GoFundMe for the guy, and they gave his family like a ton of money.
I'm not impressed by his skills. No, the guy has to die at the show where the show has to stop, and they'll be like, "Oh my God, what happened?"
Okay, what happens if he dies at the show and then gets revived at the hospital and then dies?
That doesn't count. You have to be
dead,
no,
bro. That fucking counts.
I'm not going to argue with you, but that doesn't count because you count back to live. You can be like, "Holy Lord. Oh my God, there's a God, and the God told me not to go see Keith Reza again." I'm so thankful to be alive.
What? I don't want anyone dying at my shows. I feel, and that's very selfish because I feel like it would fuck with my timing.
Don't get me wrong. I don't want someone to be who I love to die, like my wife or girlfriend or friend. But if it's just a random guy or girl who's enjoying the show and just dies peacefully laughing, like, to me, that's not a crime. That's an honor.
I don't know. In some cases, maybe, but like the way we're talking about it is just so heinous.
Yeah,
and, I love it because it's so fucking wrong. And
it is absolutely wrong. I'm not.
No. I think it's hilarious. 100%. I'm glad it got brought up. I'm glad that we dove deep because it's like, dude, comedy's such a fucking, like I said, it's a beautiful, wicked succubus. And I'm sorry for all the feminists out there. Why does it got to be a fucking succubus? Because I've never fell in love with a dude, but I've had to impress a lot of dudes during stand-up, and it's weird because I was like, wow, I never knew I was gonna have to seek the validation of some dude when I was a fucking 36-year-old man trying to be a professional working comic full time, you know?
Right.
And you know, it's
back to Ron Jeremy. So
that seems forced, Keith. Why would you force a Ron Jeremy story like that? I'm just kidding. I had to just say it. Sorry, that rape is not funny. Papicock Podcast does not condone rape or rape culture. We here stand to make sure that voices are heard and views are expressed, and those do not reflect Poppycock Podcast. Don't cancel me or Keith. Don't cancel. Don't cancel Keith either.
Exactly what Victor said. So I interviewed Jeremy, and at the time, my manager was his manager, so I kind of got forced to do it, right?
Again with the forcing.
Yeah. So I did it, right? And I was like, oh my God, this is one of the worst interviews I've ever done. And I released it. Then 3 weeks later, he gets arrested, right?
Oh no.
And then some motherfucker on Twitter finds my interview, and he posts it on LA Weekly or LA Post or some type of newspaper.
Holy
and he says,
shit.
And it says, comedian interviews rapist. And I was like, well, no, technically I interviewed him before he was a rapist because he wasn't charged when I interviewed him. You know what I mean?
No, I know. But I mean, morally, because he had already he already did the rapes. He already, so he's already
allegedly. He wasn't allegedly, yes. But
I mean, it's just
that doesn't mean I support the rapes. I just interviewed the biggest porn star of all time.
That's and that's an achievement because
I would interview Bill Cosby to talk about comedy, and then my last question would be like, so we should probably talk about this rape thing.
Classic Keith, like, okay, well, I gotta go. Just
but no, I think any comedian, like what Cosby did was wrong, 100%. But he's actually the best comedian in the whole world. So,
but what the fuck happened to him that he has to fucking get women unconscious to fucking do what he did? Like, and that was, and my theory is he did that. And this is all speculation. This isn't allegations, but it's just like,
oh no, he's been proven guilty. He's
but then he got let out on a technicality. So it's like, what a great system we have. You know what I mean?
Oh no, definitely.
But
I think it's a power thing because he.
Oh, absolutely.
Because he's the best comedian of all time for being clean. So that trophy as an artist makes you feel invincible, but then maybe as a person makes you feel non-invincible because you can't get ladies or whatever. So maybe that's why the power thing.
But dude, like, all due respect, I shouldn't even say
all
this.
Due respect, like I'm defending Cosby. I'm not.
No, I was gonna say
not Cosby. I'm just saying I would interview him. Okay. So not the greatest clean comedian of all time, but when I opened for God, what's his name from Friday? I am fucking blanking. Witherspoon.
John Witherspoon. Dude, there was ladies
nicest
there.
Guy too.
Total sweetheart. There was ladies there ready to suck his dick of all ages, over 25, like just ready. Because like some people knew him from the Boondocks. Mm-hmm. I'm like, dude, you killed it on the Boondocks. Like all I know is he just sat in a studio and recorded these lines, and then they matched up the animation. But it's hilarious. It's really fucking hilarious. And like he's all like, I was like, which episode did you like the best? And of course, the one that was nominated for NAACP award. So I drove him to and from his hotel, and he was like really cool, and he was just so transparent and told me like, man, they're not here to see John Witherspoon, they're here to see Pops. And I was just like, God damn. And then he's so nice and sweet, and so like, and he was so sweet in the car too. And did
he do the Papicock podcast?
Unfortunately, I started Papicock during the pandemic, so no.
Could have been your first big guest, and now I am.
Yeah, I know.
Ty.
Sorry, Ty. The title is revoked. I'm just kidding. You guys are gonna have to fight it out. I'm really gonna need you guys to fight it out in the view wars, because
I actually really do love Ty.
No, I love Ty too. I'm talking shit because he's my friend.
But Ty's one of those guys who I'm very scared of to piss off, not because of what he does on social media, but because it's kind of like with you. Like I have Ty really does have a good heart. And I think I love people who have good hearts.
I fall in love with people with good hearts too, because they're hard to come by, and you can tell who's faking the funk and is just like over approachy. I don't even know if
Right.
that's the correct phraseology, but like, dude, like people fake the funk so hard, and then when push comes to shove, they're like not on your side, and they don't want to help you, or like they're reluctant to give you the compensation that they they offered, or any compensation, or even a free drink or anything. And I'm just like,
Right.
anyway, so it's just like the relationships that I have with you and Ty are very unique. They're very in the sense that like, oh shit, I can't believe guys at your levels are talking to me, because like comedy wise, I trust the fuck out of both of you. And he told me he loves you. It was funny.
Oh, does he?
I told him, like, during the pre-show, I was just all like, hey, Keith wanted to know why you hate him. Those are his exact words.
Because I'm fat and autistic.
That was your answer. He's like,
Oh,
no, I love Keith. Just tell him I love him. And then, yeah, so I was like, okay, cool.
that's why he always leaves me on red whenever I text him.
Oh God, dude. Sometimes I don't even get left on red. I get on unseen, where that fucking stupid blue dot is there, but his image isn't.
Right.
And so that means
so you
unread
think
hasn't
maybe
even
he
clicked on.
blocked you? Yeah.
No. It's like he silenced
right.
me because, like,
Oh,
you know what I mean? Like he's like on Grinder, or he's doing a podcast, or he's doing his podcast, or he's writing
Or he's
jokes or
sucking a
whatever.
dick. Yeah.
Or yeah. Well, that was the Grinder reference without saying he's
Oh,
sucking
right,
a dick.
right,
Yeah. To not be homophobic. No, because I love Ty, and you know what's fucking funny
I
about
don't know
Ty?
if I don't know if I should tell you this on this podcast, but
Oh no, you can say whatever, because I was about to say something very inflammatory about Ty right now. So if you want to go first, or you want me to go first?
I'll go first.
Okay, go ahead.
Like I'm a deeply closeted, like very deeply closeted, homophobic, like so deep, like holy. That's all I wanted to say. Like I can't hear you, Victor. I think you muted yourself. Oh, now I could hear. I could hear the sounds of your fingers.
Yeah, man. It's just like, no, I don't know what the fuck happened. I didn't even press the chord. Jesus Christ.
Okay, let's rewind.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
I got something to say. I'll go first. I'm a deeply closeted homophobic, like so deep, so deep. So I wanted to say.
You know what? I'm so glad that fucking happened. That hiccup with my fucking microphone, because that really needed to happen.
That's actually
no, I don't. No.
That's actually a Norm joke that he told me.
Oh,
and
hold up a second before we go to my actually let me do my inflammatory thing. We'll go to Norm really quick, because
I wanted to say that was Norm's joke, and I thought that was his best. That joke, and he had an ostrich joke, and I feel I have the right to say those two jokes now that he's gone.
Well, yeah, dude. I mean, you kind of have to live that legacy. But like I was telling Keith, because Keith, I didn't mention this because, the thing about Keith, like we've been talking now for a little bit, and I haven't mentioned this. This isn't even the first thing I mentioned about Keith, but this is a big accomplishment. Keith was a writer for Norm Macdonald Live, which means he worked with Norm Macdonald. But that doesn't always mean you work with Norm Macdonald when you're a writer for a television show or a podcast, right, or a radio show or anything like that. But Keith also toured with Norm, and Norm was his mentor. And that is a very special relationship, where it's just like, oh yeah, I opened for so-and-so, and you work with them for a weekend, and maybe you have their number, and maybe, you exchange text, but you never work with them again. Well, no, Keith actually had a very close relationship with one of the biggest comedy legends of all time, by the name of Norm Macdonald.
When he died, you were one of the first people I actually talked to. I didn't, because I talked to you, Jay Moore, and my mom, and I turned off everyone else's phone calls. So that I think that should tell you how much I love you.
Well, dude, I'm glad that you picked up the call, and I'm glad that, and I told you to call me whenever.
Like a whore in church.
Oh my God, it's sweating like a whore in church.
Right.
Like a whore in confessional, I think would be better. I don't know, but I'm fucking trying to put a nice.
No, that was one of the saddest days of my life, and I really do appreciate you being there for me,
dude. I was crying too, dude. It was horrible, man, and I didn't even have the relationship with Norm. And it's just like anybody could come out and say whatever the fuck they want, like have their Norm stories. but you've told me things off the record about Norm and like relationships and breakups and heartache and how he got over it, and like with the Julia Roberts story
Oh
that
yeah.
I don't think's ever been made public, and you're smirking because you're just like, I don't know if I
Well,
should say
because
this.
I also don't know if that's true.
Okay,
Like
but if he told
so
you that
that's
story, that's a Norm story because
yeah.
Norm told you. But then, of
So what
course, it's
happened?
Norm. So, but that's the thing. Up until right now, I don't. Are you going to share the story? Because
Yeah. So what happened was I was in love with my best friend at the time named Jordan, and I haven't spoken to Jordan in 4 years, so if she's listening, hi, I still love you. Anyways,
nice.
So I talked to Norm, and Norm told me like 7 years ago, he's like, yeah, when I was on SNL, when I was on a Saturday Night Live, I used to date Julia Roberts, man, and I loved her. I loved her, man. And who knows if that's true or not. So I remember him saying that. And then when I went through my heartbreak, I was like, hey, Norm, so how did you get over Julia Roberts? And he's like, oh, man, she broke my heart, when she told me she didn't love me back. So what I did was I watched this movie called Pretty Woman. You ever see this movie called Pretty Woman, Keith? Yeah. He's like, yeah, Richard Gere and Julia Roberts. I was like, yeah. He's like, yeah, I don't know if you know this, but I used to date Julia Roberts. I was like, yeah. He's like, yeah. How did you get over it? He's like, well, I watched Pretty Woman and I realized she was a whore.
Dude, I fucking love that story, man. Dude, I don't know how the fuck you haven't said that on stage. It's so funny.
Well,
people love that joke, like, and like, especially at a comedy club. It's just like, because if you open with that, like that about how you lost your friend Norm and you wish it was you. I don't want to ruin it. I don't want to ruin Keith's act. I don't want to ruin the openers. But listen, Keith has a great opener where he pays tribute to Norm. But I'm thinking, if you were to go into like talking about Norm stories, like including that Julia Roberts story, and like, dude, like that's something that I know people would want to see and hear and talk about, because celebrating Norm's life is like fucking awesome. Because, dude, like what he did for you was super unique. He didn't do that for everybody. And even if you did that for 100 people, you know how many fucking comics there are right now?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Throughout his career, how many comics he's helped, like, you know what I mean? Like, but you were one of them. You were one of the ones that he helped. And
Norm helped as many people as he could, but he was very picky on who he would help. He would help people who he saw were talented and were funny. If you weren't talented and you weren't funny, he wouldn't want to help you.
That makes a lot of sense, especially a guy like Norm. He's with all the accolades, all the accomplishments, and like he was hilarious. Like, like, dude, he still cracks me up. I watch his Netflix show. Norm Macdonald has a show, and it's so fucking funny, like the way he makes the guests like answer these questions, and I'm like, dude, you are just fucking like wired to fucking just to be hilarious. And
my
it's like,
favorite one is when he's interviewed Spade, and then he tells Spade that the camera was off or something. He's like, oh, by the way, can you tell the exact same story just like how you just did it? The camera went off. And Spade's like, really? And Norm's like, yeah. So then Spade's like, all right. So he starts, and he's like, oh, I was just kidding. We got it.
Dude, that I don't know if we're talking about the same one, because I know he had one that was on Netflix and one that was not on Netflix.
I think it was the one on Netflix. Okay, I'm not too sure. I mean, I wrote on both of them. So,
that's cool. That's awesome, man.
Yeah. If you look at my IMDB, though, I only got credit for like 4 episodes, which, whatever, I'm fine. I mean, there was so many writers on that. And I remember the writing for a podcast and a show. It wasn't fun. And when I say that, it was because you're competing to get these jokes on the show that Norm didn't pick, the head writer picked, and Norm picked which ones were his favorite from the head writer. So it wasn't about impressing Norm or Adam Egan.
Oh God, really? That just sounds such like a pain in the ass, because you're writing Norm's voice.
Yeah. So it was about impressing Sean O'Connor, Scott Blacks, Josh Renter, So that's what it was about. And then I just, I really got along with Sean O'Connor, but Sean O'Connor didn't like my humor. So, I mean, it wasn't like a, hey, we hate each other type of thing. He just, whatever. I mean, we're actually good friends. We just didn't like whatever. So I understood that. So I think on the podcast, I got maybe 4 or 5 jokes on the show. And on the Netflix show, I think I got 1. But I submitted I must have submitted 100 jokes every episode. And that just tells you the batting average on how hard it is to write on a talk show. On a sitcom show, it's probably easier to get jokes on air because you could probably screw around with the scene or whatever. But on a talk show, especially how Norm was doing it, like the Larry Sanders type thing, is very hard.
Oh yeah, but he fucking nailed it.
Oh yeah.
Oh, definitely. He fucking, dude, that show's hilarious. Like I could go watch it right now, and that show will make me laugh. And just the way that Norm handles awkward moments and like making, I mean, especially for that realm of like it's a show. It's like a variety show kind of without it being a variety show. It's just them doing a variety of different shit. Right. And like, and I thought it was funny because, dude, some of those jokes were fucking awful though, dude. At the end that they were reading, and I don't know if those were purposely like just awful, but even Norm would just be like try to read them as best he could or keep the best ones for him, and like it would be the last joke, like this is the last one, and it wouldn't hit. They wouldn't even leave with a laugh, and it's like, who gives a fuck? We're done. Like, well,
the bad jokes were meant for Adam Egget to prove that Adam Egget wasn't a comedian. So Norm would do the good jokes, the Gus would do the good jokes, and Adam Egget would do the bad jokes, and Norm and the Gus would turn on Adam Egget. That was the purpose of it. Now during the show, it might have changed to, bad jokes all around. But that was so long ago, man. You got to keep in mind, the podcast was in 2014. So we started writing it in 2013. And then the Netflix show, I want to say, was 2017.
Jesus,
it was a long time ago. You know what I mean?
Dude, but not long enough where, like, dude, and he had cancer for 10 years. I watched that now after him passing and knowing that because, like, I can say this now. I'm really close with Keith, and Keith told me that Norm wasn't doing too good. He didn't specify what. I didn't even know if he knew. But I kept a secret. I didn't say nothing. So, but I didn't know that he was, that sick, or I thought he was going to beat it because he's a man's man. And like, even if you're not a man's man, like, dude, I don't know why the fuck that happened. Like, I don't know why it gets defined like that. It's just like, oh, you're going to beat it. You're either strong or you're not. And it's just like, dude, the cancer that people have is like so fucking strong. It takes over, and it's so fucked up because he's such a comedic fucking genius. Like he really. And then, dude, it's just so funny that he, like, to me, because like I know how hilarious you are, and that's just so awesome that, like, for however it happened, I'm glad that it happened. That you were able to link up with Norm and he saw you shine, or he heard about you, or whatever. Because no matter what, at the end of the day, if you weren't being funny, Norm, I think, would have tossed you, or if your heart wasn't in the right place, he would have tossed you. And,
100%. And like I said, Norm was my best friend. He was like my comedy dad. God, you got to keep in mind, dude, it wasn't all roses and flowers too. There was it was a real friendship. There's some drama, and there's some name calling, and, Norm was a beautiful person, but like I said, it wasn't all roses. So I think when his death happened, it really hit me hard because it's like, I wish we were fighting right now. You know what I mean?
Were you guys in a fight when he passed?
No, not at all. But that's what I'm saying. When he died, I wish we were fighting. Because
why? Why would you wish you were fighting?
No. I wish we were fighting and not dead. That's what I'm trying to say.
Oh. Okay, so I did not understand I did not get that at all. I'm so sorry.
Yeah. Well, maybe I didn't explain that right. But
no. You definitely did though afterwards. But like, yeah, dude. Oh.
Because it was like,
I'd rather be in a fight with you than you be dead. Yes, that's exactly what you're saying, and I agree with you, dude. Like, that's how I feel about all my dead homies, who I fought with because they were my real friends. You fight with your real friends, Keith. That's how I know we're real friends, because we've gotten into fucking fights. I mean, we squash them, or we say something to the other where it's just like, hey, I don't agree with that. Yeah. And it's just like it's just like, you know, if you don't fucking but we always keep it real, but sometimes it's a little bit too real, and it's just like a little bit too blunt for certain people. But I mean, it's funny. Like for me, I'm just like, nope. I just want to make sure that what we're saying is accurate to what I want to be represented right now. And so
definitely.
That's how I feel about it.
I hate to interrupt you, but you said you don't like interruptions on your podcast, but my mom and dad just came home, so they could be like talking about each other's days and stuff. So I just wanted to let the audience know that's my mom and my dad.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Fuck, I wish you would have kept it a secret until like your mom.
Well, no, because then it would have been like weird. Like,
no, it's not weird. Nobody even heard it. People are like listening to this fucking deep ass story about Norm and not the.
Oh, right.
No. Back to Norm. Because dude, like you had a good relationship with him, and that's fucking beautiful, man. And like that's so. I mean, somebody of his level, and like not to say that, like, you know, because like I know, like, fuck, man. It's just so beautiful, like the opportunities that like happen because you're a stand-up that would have never happened if you're just at home or you're just doing your day job. Like, because I've had days where I was the best teacher in the world, and I was a substitute teacher, and I was the best educator in the world that day, and like I killed it. But I'm not gonna get a fucking award for it. I'm not gonna get no recognition for it. Like you
never got an award for being a best teacher.
Never.
Oh my god, my friend Alan Lee. He's a teacher, and he always says he gets all these awards for being the best teacher, which I don't believe him, because he's not. When you get in an art, here's the thing about teachers. Teachers are so caught up about teaching, they always have to be right, and that's how Alan is. So like when you get an argument with him, there's no winning because he's always right. You know what I mean? And he's like trying to teach you a moment that you're wrong.
I feel like he's like more like trying to manipulate you into thinking that you're inferior to him mentally, as opposed to winning an argument.
Oh, no, that's probably true too.
And I don't know if that's my Asperger's kicking in, like an overdrive. I'm like, actually,
that's probably true as well.
Not to trivialize Asperger's, because like I can't explain it. And then like I've had different psychiatrists say different things.
Right.
But, then actually to get tested, I'm like, oh no, I'm already on. I already took that test.
I took that test and I failed, so we don't need to retake it.
I just think that like it's nothing to be ashamed about, because
it's not nothing to be boomer. It's nothing to be ashamed about.
You know, this is a good transition. I wasn't even going to bring this up, but fuck, I'm going to bring it up. I looked at my dog yesterday and I fucking broke down, because I was thinking about like, dude, that breed only lives to be like 12 to 14 years. This is going to be 2 in December, so that means that, like, you know,
you got 10 years of happiness.
Well, I mean, fuck, dude, or maybe not, or maybe she develops kidney problems, or something horrible like this. This lady at the dog park, she brings her dog there. She knows every single freaking dog at the dog park, all their names. She knows all their names, and her dog Bentley was only 8 years old, and he fucking died, and because he had kidney problems and he was diabetic, and it was just horrible. So. I just hate the fact that like she had to go through that, and then she goes to the dog park and she doesn't even have any dogs. She's just going there to just hang out. But also though too, I didn't know this, she's also looking for clients, because I guess she's a dog walker, which is cool, because she like, and a dog sitter or dog nanny or whatever. And so like, dude, I would trust her with my dogs. I'll trust her with my kids. I like her a lot. Like,
I would trust her too. For the folks at home, because Victor said this is on video, I'm moving my laptop, because I don't want my parents to talk.
God damn it, Keith. You know what? I want to have to fucking put up rules now for these Zooms now, because these are them rules.
This is my room. You're getting the VIP. You only can get this tour if you subscribe to my OnlyFans.
Okay, but we want to see you open more than doors if we can subscribe to your OnlyFans. We want to see you open them butt cheeks. But I don't. I'm just kidding.
All right. Next question.
I love how you watch different podcasts that you aren't in. That's hilarious. Oh no, you watched the promo. I don't think you watched.
I just went up on stairs and fuck, man.
You're winded.
That was hard,
Keith.
Well, because I have like a hurt foot right now.
Oh no.
So
no, that's horrible. Yeah, you're telling me about your hurt foot. That's shitty.
Wait, why are you winking like that?
No, I'm not winking.
Like, you told me
my
about
my eyebrows went up. I didn't. No, my eyebrows went up and like, oh shit, yeah, that is excruciating pain.
Yeah, I have a huge hurt foot. It's like the size, like there's a bubble on my foot. It's like the size of a soccer ball.
That's horrible, dude. That's horrible.
So when I walk, I'm in major pain. So imagine that, and then going upstairs.
Imagine that. Hey, dude. No offense, all due respect, dude. That's a chubby guy thing to be twisted ankles for the people.
That's what
at
I'm
home.
trying to say.
When you roll an ankle and you look fucking very swollen and like a fucking burnt Samoan,
and then carrying a laptop, like.
Yeah, and sorry, and thank you for bearing with us. You know what's fucked up because like when
I'm
you're
saying like that, I fucking worked out for your podcast. So
no, it did work out, but I was like, you know what, when you were walking because the camera only picks up the person that's talking, so it wasn't picking you up. So it was just like, okay, cool. I'm gonna keep carrying this conversation until it gets to wherever he's getting, and then you're like, for the people at home, and I'm like, God damn it! Like I was like, he doesn't know the camera hasn't switched to him because he's not talking, and so like. No, because Zoom's really good about that. Like Zoom, like will switch to the active speaker. So like since I was an active speaker, it was just on me the whole time. It's looking like I'm a video hog or mic hog, and like I'm just talking. I'm like, okay, Keith doesn't know, and I kind of wanted to go like this, like, all right, Keith, like just don't say anything. But I didn't know how to do that non-verbally.
You need to have a sign because I don't know what.
Dude, I just hold up signs that may or may not be legible because like then you're gonna be all like fucking with your eyes. Okay, Keith's OnlyFans is looking fucking great. If you're into that fucking white pastiness, ooh yeah, baby. You want to put more pasty? You want to put more whiteness on the?
You want to see my Macaulay Culkin impression?
Yeah.
All right, ready?
Yeah.
Ah!
Why did I say yes? Okay.
Hey, for the folks at home, you guys want to see my Macaulay Culkin impression from Home Alone 2?
No. Why, Keith? Why? Not fucking with you, dude. That's hilarious.
Daniel Stern was the funniest one in those movies, and everyone said that is because Macaulay Culkin's so cute and stuff. But Daniel Stern. He was like Jim Carrey before Jim Carrey, and I always say that he was the best comic physical actor at the time.
Fuck, dude.
The guy was competing with Joe Pesci.
Joe Pesci killed it in that scene, in that role as well. He killed it in that whole montage at the end with in Home Alone 1 with the fucking booby traps and shit.
Yeah,
the
best line in that whole movie is Joe Pesci's like, because Macaulay Culkin goes on a treehouse and he super slides, right? And Joe Pesci's like, where'd he go? And Daniel Stern's like, maybe he committed suicide.
What? Yeah. What the fuck? That was in the movie?
That was in the first movie. It was the best joke of the whole movie.
Dude, I gotta rewatch that. I bet you that movie's fucking heinously hilarious.
It's one of my faves.
Oh, dude.
It's so funny because I feel those two were great comedy pair, kind of like how Spade and Farley.
Yeah. Okay. Oh God, I gotta watch that. And you're right. I never thought of it like that. Because the last time I saw it, I was young or super stoned, like in college. Like like getting drunk and fucked up. So I wasn't really watching it. I was trying to fuck these chicks or whatever. And
you could have said fuck these guys. I wouldn't have judged you.
Okay, well then fuck any dude or gal over 18. Actually, to be honest with you, over 35. I think that's always been my thing.
Your friend hit me up and he said, he said, here's the questions Victor's going to ask you on his podcast. And I was like, what is it? He's like, does your mom know you're gay?
Okay, Keith.
And he said he just wants a yes or no answer. And I was like, oh, well, my mom did see me once, caught my dad fucking my ass and me screaming harder, so I guess a yes.
This is where normal podcasts would just cut off, but this is not normal podcast. Keith, that's horrible. That's horrendous. You shouldn't open with that. You should let the audience get warmed up a little bit before you slip that one in. But you did.
I didn't warm the audience up.
No, not right now. I mean, especially right now, no. But I meant
My bad.
no, you're great. No. But if that happened, you need to talk to somebody. But
I
no
really
judgment.
love you, Victor. I
No
think
judgment.
I
No
think
judgment. No, it was no judgment because no, I've
no,
had.
no. I was gonna say I think you're a fabulous comedian, and
Oh, thank you.
I think this is just what I think, but I think podcasts should be making people laugh because they're listening to it on their way to work or on their way to the strip club or something. So I think like you have a beautiful thing going on. So thank you for having me.
Oh, thanks, man. You want to cut it? You want to cut
No.
it? Oh, okay.
What am I
Okay. I don't know. You made it sound like, and that was it, folks. So thanks a lot. That's been my time. I'm Keith
Oh.
Reza, and you can find me at. And I was just like, oh fuck.
No,
I was like,
we still have 30 minutes before we have to cut it.
okay, yeah. Then
You
we
have
got,
me
we
till
got
12:30, big dog.
okay. My.
I was just trying to give you a compliment.
Oh no, God bless you. No, that sounded like an ending remarks compliment. I was like, holy shit. No, but dude, thanks for calling me fabulous.
Compliment would be Victor. I just want you to know, thank you for having me on.
Dude,
I really appreciate you wasting my time for 90
No, Keith, I got to tell you the truth though, man. Like I came to watch Keith open for a reality celebrity. I went out of my way. I didn't have a dog sitter. Didn't want to leave my dog at
Corinne
home.
Olympius.
At any rate, Keith.
Victor's a big. Let's not say names.
I don't remember her name, and I just remember she's reality. And I did not mention.
Bell was there, and he offered to molest me.
No, he didn't. He offered to give Keith a fucking time machine ride back to when he was 14.
I asked Drake Bell if he would do my podcast, and he's like, "I don't know, man. I mean, I'm kind of in some heat right now." And I was like, "Oh well, my sister's 13." He's like, "Nice."
That's horrible. Anyway, I don't know. That's funny. It's like, what did you talk about in the podcast? You can put in the description. I'm like, oh yeah, let's talk about that guy who molested. Let's just put everyone. Bill Cosby.
Allegedly.
Okay. It's fine. Draw Jeremy. Let's put a fuck it. Let's start talking about fucking Charlie Sheen. I'm just kidding.
Charlie Sheen is probably the best person in the world.
Oh my god, he infected a bunch of people with AIDS. Like, dude.
Oh well, that makes him a terrible person.
Yeah,
but, like before that.
But as a drug addict, though, you share straws with people, and like if he has hepatitis C, you can get hepatitis C sharing straws too. And but that's also reckless on whoever's doing lines. Like, oh, I don't want to be rude and roll up my own bill or have my own tutor. But it's just the safest thing would be to have everyone have their own tutor. So if anybody has a disease, they just keep it within. I'm just talking about as a recreational drug user. That would be the safest way. Now
you're making me walk back my comment of Charlie Sheen being the best.
No. Don't walk it back. Like if he's the best person, I was going to ask him like being able to do whatever the fuck he wants. Yeah. Like type of sense.
He has tiger blood.
Dude, and speaking of that tiger blood, that's HIV positive. He started talking about how he's no longer paying this hush money because that's just going to start making him bankrupt, or it's making him bankrupt. With all the hush money, he's paid like $10 million over the past 5 years.
I didn't know that. Jesus.
Yeah. Oh no, just for the HIV shit.
Oh.
Nothing else. That wasn't nothing else. It's just HIV. You had no relationships with Charlie Sheen. You're not allowed to disclose that in any way, shape, or form.
I worked with him for 9 years on 2.5 Men, and I gotta tell you,
that's Keith's opening joke. I'm so glad we've been at it for fucking almost an hour.
I was gonna say Charlie Sheen's cool because there's a rumor in like the late 80s, early 90s. He had sex with a different girl every night of the week for a whole year.
Jesus Christ.
That's 365 or 364, depending what year it was.
Dude.
That's a lot of sex, man.
I heard this guy, he said in the last 6 months, like this rapper dude, it was like one of those like Instagram or TikTok stories or whatever, like, those little videos or whatnot. He said he was in an interview and he banged over 1,000 women in the last 6 months. And I was just like, dude.
Why do you have to knock Charlie Sheen down with a rapper? Come on.
No, because this guy has AIDS too.
Oh my God.
He's probably got triple super AIDS. Like that's
probably got it from Charlie Sheen.
I mean, I'm sure that population probably cross-contaminated. I mean, not 100% sure, but like, I don't know, man. Oh yeah, hey dude. Okay, so I do have some questions for you since our time is limited. I do want to respect your time, even though I feel we're having a good time, and
Yeah.
I feel like we're
Has anyone
busting.
ever told you you have nice eyes?
No, I mean I'm high as fuck, so thanks for that compliment.
Yeah. I
Thanks.
told that to Richard Chasler because I didn't have any questions for him, so I'm just trying to kill time.
Fuck you, then. That's
I
not a
was
real
like, hey,
compliment.
Chasler, has anyone ever told you you have nice eyes? He's like,
I'm gonna tag Chasler. I want to tag Chasler in the description of this show. I'm just
oh,
gonna,
please don't. My
dude.
interview with him came out this week, so he's already hitting me up. Like, he's like, you got to promote it more. I'm Richard Chasler. I'm like, yeah, I'll plug it again.
And plug you go. We'll see if I get more hits than him.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna give him a hit by checking his out. I'm not just gonna take your word for it. So I'll give him that hit. He doesn't have to watch mine with you, but I hope he does. I hope people watch it to be fucking Snoopy because you know, we got these fucking stories, and I have a question for you actually. So this isn't really quite well. So first, I'm gonna set it up a little bit. So Keith is a really talented comedian, and he's gotten the opportunity to tour with some of the best comedians in the world, including Norm Macdonald, who we've spoken about, Jay Moore, and Bob Saget. And I don't know how deep you want to go into this, or if we could cover the whole thing. Because if we cover the whole thing, then it would be like everything we talked about with Bob Saget and some. But because the and some is what I'm asking right now, and we could go further than this or not further than this. I don't know why I'm setting it up like this. I just want you to be comfortable. But can you tell me how that weekend was? I mean,
Yeah.
when did you open for Bob Saget? And in relation to when he passed away, because that was on the same tour, right? Or
Yeah.
so okay.
Before I answer this question, do you want to see my impression of Spider-Man?
Jesus Christ, Keith. No, I don't. But Keith,
anyways,
you need to just say, hey, I'm gonna show you my impression of Spider.
So to answer your question.
Okay.
So I met Saget through Norm, actually. And so I tell you this all the time, to always ask for opportunities. So I asked Saget if I could open up for him in Oxnard, because I was trying to get into Oxnard. And this was in, I want to say, July. Maybe it was June. And I asked him to do Oxnard, and I knew he had a spot open because his main opener, Mike Young, was filming a movie. And I knew that because I read Deadline, and that's what it said. So I figured there's an opening spot. What's the worst he's going to say? No, right? That's the worst he's going to say. And I figured if I don't ask him, someone else is going to get this spot. And then, you know, and keep in mind, this is a pandemic, you know what I mean? So there's not a lot of shows that I could get on.
Fuck.
So, and I have to perform comedy to fill. I need to perform at least once a week during a pandemic. When before the pandemic, it was 7-8 times a week. Once a week, I'm happy with right now, because you know what I mean? I feel alive.
Absolutely.
So I wrote him and I asked him. It was a nice email, very professional. And I said, hey, the first thing I said in the email was, don't be afraid to say no. My feelings won't get hurt. Because I feel people are afraid to say no. And I'm a big advocate for, it's okay to say no. Because what does no really mean? No means not right now. You know what I mean? You could change. You could always change a no to anything. If you ask a girl, hey, you want to have sex? She says no. That to me means not right now. Try when I'm divorced.
Oh my God. Okay. Oh, I didn't know she's married in the situation. Not,
but you know,
uninterested.
I'm making a joke, but I'm
no.
dead serious.
I laughed.
No means not right now.
Yeah.
So it doesn't mean never. People think no means never, and that's not true. Never means never.
Never means never. Absolutely.
Right?
But I mean,
I got a story about Brian Callen, which I'll share later. But so I wrote Saget, and Saget said yes, do Oxnard, and if you want, you could do other dates of the tour too. But I was like, great. So I booked it in my, I went on his calendar and I booked all those shows saying, hey, Saget said I could do all this for the time of clip, right? So then a week later, Saget emails me and he says, hey, Mary Lynn Rice Cup just hit me up, and she's an old friend of mine and she's not getting a lot of work. So I'm going to have you do the early shows, her do the late shows. And whoever does better this weekend, I'll take on the tour, because Saget only liked 2 comics on the tour, the feature and himself. And I was like, oh, that's cool. So I did the shows with Saget at Oxnard and I killed it. Saget loved me. And he said, so I'm going to let you do San Jose and Ontario and Sacramento, and I'll let Mary Lynn do the other dates since, she's an actual bigger name. Like, he was honest about it. He was like, since she's a bigger name, she could help sell tickets to places I can't really sell that well. I said, no problem. I'll just do California and Arizona, just whatever, Mary Lynn, I'm not going to fight. You're the boss. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'm not going to fucking, whatever you got, I'm grateful to take. And then something happened with my dad like a week later where he got glass in his eye and he had to go to surgery, and they removed his eye and they removed the 4 pieces of glass.
Holy shit.
So, and at the time my mom was on a business trip. So she was gone for about 3 months. And my sisters don't live at home anymore. So I couldn't do these road gigs with Saget because I had to take care of my dad. So I told Saget, and I thought maybe part of me, Saget thought maybe I was just fucking with him because I didn't want to do the shows, because that's pretty detailed thing,
Yeah.
But he didn't judge me for that. He just said, okay, I understand. But I had a feeling maybe that's what he thought. I'm not saying that's what he thought. I just had a feeling that's what he thought. But he was very compassionate about that. And he said, no worries, we'll do it next year or next time something opens up. I was like, cool. Then the following week, Norm died. And I'm like, oh, this is just terrible. My dad has no eye. I don't have any friends right now. And Saget called me and texted me once a week until January just to check in to see how I was doing. And we never talked about working together again. We just talked about comedy, how we're doing, how are we at peace, Norm stories, stuff like that. Because Saget really loved Norm too. They were really, really close until Saget died. And then when Saget died, that just like really blindsided me, because it was like, wait, what? You know what I mean? Like he's starting to become my Uncle Bob Saget. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh God. That was, dude. Okay. So I was getting none of those opportunities, and that was a kick in the balls for me as a fan of Bob Saget. I mean, like, I never, like, I saw his comedy as like a kid, and I'm just thinking, oh, dude, that's funny. He's so dirty. But I swear I can't recite a Bob Saget joke. Not to be an asshole, but I can tell you the way he made me feel as a kid watching him. Like, there's hope, and like he was a good dad, and like, it was just like a good, like, oh cool, it's fucking TGIF, and I'm a little fucking kid, and it's ABC Family Night, and I'm watching that, and Urkel, and Step by Step, and I forgot the other, Sabrina the Teenage Witch or whatever, right? And it's just like you're watching all that stuff, and it's like like the way Danny Tanner made you feel, the way Bob Saget, like, made that character come alive, was just like, dude, we all lost an uncle, man. Like, we really did. And like the fact that you were getting
I never
close.
saw an episode of Full House. Like that.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah.
Dude, no, there's nothing wrong with you. I'm just saying that, listen,
I knew Bob Saget from
Dirty Work.
No, from America's Funniest Videos.
Oh, I knew him from there too. Jesus Christ, how could I
So-
just skate over that? But
And speaking of dirty work, Fred Wolf, Norm, me, Sean O'Connor, Stevie Ray Fromstring, and Saget, we were writing a sequel. And when you write a sequel, like I wrote my own script of it, and I sent it to Wolf, and Wolf said that was good, and then Wolf wrote his own. So like we one script and another script, and so.
yeah.
So I don't know what was the final script
Wow.
of that, but there was a sequel in the
Jesus
works.
Christ.
Yeah,
It's like saying, "Hey, I know a chick. Like she's really hot, and she likes dudes like you. She likes funny guys, and she'll totally blow you. But she just
but
fucking died."
When Norm died, I told Saget we should still make it to honor him, and Saget said something funny. He's like, "All right, well, lose weight and grow an afro, and you could be Mitch, who was Norm's character in it." And I was like, "Yeah, I could do that. Yeah, I could make him proud."
Dude, you would you would have caught so much heat for that. And fuck, I wish that would get the green light.
In a bad
way? In the sense that, like, you know, where there's this like Robin Williams impersonator.
Yeah, I saw that. He was very good.
Oh, he was? Well, there was like a lot of like how dare you steal this man's act, and you're an asshole, and you're not even whatever the fuck. I don't know if he made it right, but people were calling him out about stealing his act.
I remember that it was like an 8-minute short, and it was about when Jim Belushi died. I thought he did a fabulous job. If people were calling him out, it's because Robin Williams' death is one that probably still haunts me too, because his humor and comedy was it was a different level. It was about, if you watch his movies were not like a stand-up. His stand-up was very dirty and dark and stolen, whereas movies were very
thank you.
Where his movies were very hopeful. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I would say
absolutely.
hopeful. I think in all his
Or
movies,
feel good. Yeah, there might be some suspense. Obviously, you need to have some type of problem, or they need to solve something, and it's just, yeah, dude. But stolen, and people don't like talking about Robin Williams stealing jokes, especially me. That's from the Bay Area, and he came up in the Bay, and you know he's part of the whole of the Holy City Zoo, and that is an institute, you know, of people. They celebrate. Or actually not celebrate, they coordinate a lot of shows still to this day, a lot of big shows like Comedy Day, run by Debbie Durst. And yeah, man. So there's a lot of things that happen in the Bay Area that are still, you know, control power from back in the day. And then now people are starting their own little independent shows that hope to blossom into really successful little independent shows. But you know, everyone's really trying hard right now to sell tickets, and it's really hard because even if you have a big name, people still don't want to go out because it's fucking it's the pandemic, and are they going to wear masks, or are they going to make us wear masks, or they better be wearing masks, or we're going to wear a mask. And it's just like,
and
dude,
like I told you before, I think that's gonna stay how it is right now for at least 3 years, because
dude, I've been to some shows, I'm not going to say where, but within the past 6 months that have been raw dog as fuck.
Really?
Like, yeah, dude. Like, dude,
I'm talking like everywhere.
okay. Okay. Not every. I'm not gonna say where, but if you would have done these shows that I did, I'll tell you off the record later. But
I want to do raw dog.
Dude, these raw dog shows, like, dude,
raw dogs are fun. Have you ever like raw dogged a girl?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm married.
Oh, right, yeah. But that's what I'm saying. Raw dogging is fun.
Yeah, it's great. Oh no, I meant raw dogging. No one's wearing a fucking mask.
Oh, right. I knew that. So
what the fuck? Yeah, Keith. I have these shows where every chick wants to have sex without a condom.
I was gonna
and
say, hey.
I'm gonna hook you up. No, Keith, I tell you what the fuck the show hooks up, but like if it were to be like ladies like that, I wouldn't have just deliberately said it like that. But definitely, I don't know any shows that hook up ladies. Stop with your finger guns.
No, I'm doing the Spider-Man for the superhero fans.
Okay. Well then, yeah, we'll start speaking so the camera goes to you. But I just wanted to ask you some more questions, man.
Let's go.
Okay. Because I got some questions.
You're a great interviewer, though. So.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
So I'm very proud of you.
Oh, thanks, man. Well, I'm trying my best, and I feel like I fumbled a little bit, but who doesn't? I'm still learning, and I'm trying to get comfortable. But thank you for that compliment.
You should never be scared to fumble.
I wasn't scared as much as like, oh shit, I'm gonna listen to this and learn. But like,
I think if you listen to this, you'll see you're actually very good, and you got a good talent.
Oh, thanks, man. Well, I appreciate it, dude. That means a lot to me, and I'm going to continue making these. And of course, I have you back, and we'll talk about other stuff because, dude,
you should get Richard Chasler.
Dude, I'll look into that later.
He has pretty eyes.
Jesus Christ, it sounds like I'm gonna have a great interview. You fucking prick. Yeah, okay. And I want to get that fucking guy. Also, for the record, this is my fucking podcast. Guess what? I did a podcast with Keith one time with some fucking self-proclaimed motivational speaker that apparently hustles people out of money to speak and give his fucking lessons of the gospel. And I stumped his ass. I stumped his ass, and I asked him some very fucked up questions you're not supposed to answer as a professional that's a public figure. And he answered those questions, and as a result, he told Keith that he didn't want him to upload the episode. And so that made me feel like Keith was like apologetic to me, but very pissed off, but very sorry. I didn't mean to waste your time. And that fucking piece of shit wasted my time. And I was like, Keith, I had fun, so don't worry about it. Just drop it with me. And then
you did great on that.
And then Keith, but dude, I did too good. I exposed a charlatan. I exposed a false truth teller. You try to stump me, I try to stump you. It's going to be hard. You know what I mean? Like eventually maybe a little bit stumpy, but not stumped. You know what I mean? But like it's going to take a while, you know?
I remember I was pissed off because he begged me to do my podcast. And I finally said yes. And then I begged you to do it because you didn't know. Alan didn't want to do it. And I needed a sidekick on this one because
I didn't want to do it either because I didn't know who the fuck he is. And then I researched him and I got me questions and I put them together and I wanted to, get this out of him because like I asked him some very specific questions because as a substitute teacher, which I'll say here for the record, because I don't think I've mentioned this before, but like I asked this so-called motivational speaker, and I have to say so-called because the way he answered these questions and deflected and didn't answer my questions, because I asked him, what do you do as the adult in the classroom, whether you're the substitute teacher or motivational speaker, and you're trying to motivate these kids or trying to get them engaged in learning, and one of the kids calls you gay. What do you do? Oh, no, they tell you that reading's gay, because that's actually exactly what happened, and that's what I told him. I was like, what do you do when a student tells you that reading's gay, and if you read, you're gay? And that stumped the fuck out of him. Actually, that stumped the fuck out of me. I didn't recall it correctly the first time. I'm like, oh, no. That's how it went. Because fucking, yeah. Because but that really did happen. And I stumped him because he couldn't answer that question fucking thoroughly or effectively.
His answer said, well, make sure you suck a dick of someone who's reading, then you're really gay.
For the record, that's not what he said. But Keith is giving him too much credit because at least Keith wasn't being a babbling, stammering asshole in that response. He was just being a silly goose, and that's pretty fucking funny to me because we like to have fun here at Papicock Podcast, and so
Papicock Podcast.
But Papicock, like, that's nothing but poppycock and rubbish, but I'm saying poppycock, like the cock of a poppy or a big daddy like me, and so that's the joke. But it's just like I don't give a fuck.
I got the joke.
Oh, nice. But like I hope people don't think that's how you spell poppycock, but I incorrectly spell it poppycock.
You spell poppy choke.
No, I don't. Whoever fucking okay. So Keith got me on Keith's podcast got me on IMDB, but unfortunately, whoever fucking put my name in there misspelt it, and it definitely wasn't me because I spell my name all the fucking time. I've been spelling it since I was like 4 or 5 years old, possibly 3, but I definitely 4. So
yeah, we do got to figure that out. I think
how much time do we really have? Because we're going to cut it short. Do you got it till 55? Because you don't really need that much time to prep, and you know she's going to be late. We got till 55, right?
45.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Okay.
So I think my manager put the show on IMDb because they're now accepting podcasts, and not to brag, but Reza Rifts is a podcast that has a good amount of listener. You got to keep in mind, when I started Reza Rifts, I started it right before the peak of everybody having a podcast.
Holy shit.
So when I was doing podcasting, when I started it, there was maybe 500 podcasts.
Jesus Christ. Oh my God.
And ever. Now there's like, I don't know, like 3 million. Like
I know. I personally know 500 people with 500 podcasts. Yeah. I'm sorry, my bad. I know 500 people with at least 1,000 podcasts. These some of those motherfuckers have 5 podcasts, and I'm just like, dude, that is. I that's one of the things I'm actually very proud of. And when you mentioned fumbling, dude, I fumble on my own podcast all the time, and it gets to me, but. Yeah, but it's dude, it gives a human component to it in that, like, you know, we're not flawless, and you know, this is unedited, all in one takes, you know. It's just like no, I mean, that's
why I think fumbling it's like a football game.
Yeah,
if it fumbles, it fucking sucks, but you got to figure it out, you know what I mean.
You got to deal with the next play or try to recover that fumble. Or, you know, whether that plays over or not, you got to decide, or, you know.
And I think you do a good job being a quarterback. And
oh, thanks, man. It's just like, I also, though, too, you make it easy because it's like I'm comfortable, and it's just like talking to you and asking.
Like if I was Steven Weber, you'd probably have a hard time.
Well, I mean, because
19 minutes.
Okay, actually, that's almost accurate. It's like 23 or 22 and change. But okay, yes.
The point is, we do got to figure out how to get your name spelled, because I think my manager sent it in, and I think when they listened to,
I think you misspelled it on an episode, and then they misspelled it. I think that's what happened. So it wasn't like their fumble. So I think you need to go back and go to your website and edit it and just fucking respell it. Right? Yeah. No. I'll figure it out myself. Big Daddy Vic will send you the links. And be like, hey, these are the ones where my name's misspelled. And it's super easy. I can do it. No problem.
You're absolutely right. That's probably what happened.
Yeah. So it's just no, because like because I was thinking like how the no, I'm not pissed. And also, again, that's why I'm easy to work with. I have no fucking ego, like, at all. But I like the only things that, like, you know, anybody's ever said about me that is true, that is not a rumor, is just like, you know, I will call out a shady producer. Right. And that is within my right, because like as a fucking contract employee who's getting either money under the table or you're paying me a check or whatever the fuck you're doing, whatever your practice is, you know, if you promise me a certain price and you don't give it to me, I'm going to tell you why I think that's wrong.
Right.
And so I think, you know, because
I'll get someone to fix it, Victor. It's on my to-do list.
No, everything's already fixed and some. So it's just like,
then I won't worry about it.
No, don't. I never wanted you to worry about it. Okay, so let me ask you a couple of questions before you get out of here, because you said you got 20 minutes right now. And but dude, I this is fucking fun, and I want to ask.
This is fun. This is probably gonna be better than my damn podcast.
No, it's not, because we're gonna have fun. And in those 15 minutes, I'm actually gonna hang up with you, and I'm gonna fucking come back on right like 2 minutes before, and I'm gonna have my questions, and I'm not even gonna read them to you, but I'm gonna have at least like 6 questions that are really good, and you're gonna like it. Stop it.
This Stop is my it with impression your of shaving.
Dude, I know. I saw it. Thank you. You and Macaulay Culkin. Holy shit. Oh my god! I mean, I can only imagine Keith being like, a cute little white kid watching that, being like, that could be me one day. And I'm watching that and being like, fuck, I wish I was white or cute. But
I auditioned for this movie called Dennis The Menace.
oh my god, really?
Yeah.
Oh my god! Thank God you didn't get it, because you would have fucking been a child actor and fucking died by now. So thank God.
I wanted to get it, man.
I want you know what though? In reality, though, I wanted you to get it too.
Top
But
100, dude. And
fuck.
that was like a big accomplishment.
Yeah, that is, dude. How many people applied for that movie? Like fucking like 2,000 or more.
Yeah, I think it was like 10,000 people.
Jesus Christ.
And
that's impressive, man.
I remember I went to like 4 of them, like 4 different audition takes, and I was like 4 or 5 at the time.
Jesus.
So I didn't make it further because I had the blonde hair and I had the crooked teeth, but I was a little overweight and I was very nonverbal too. So when I was auditioning, I would be monotone with my words when I did it. But I think what kept me in the game was I looked exactly like it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like you were what they envisioned.
Yeah,
like,
but
visually.
I didn't have the speaking abilities of the quick annoyance.
Or maybe the high pitch inflections or whatnot.
Yeah, and I watched that movie recently, a couple weeks ago, actually, and I thought that kid did a shitty job.
Dude, I only watched that movie as a kid, for the record. I have no connection to the movie like that whatsoever.
It's actually a very funny movie, but the kid did a shitty job.
Dude, and then he goes to that like fucking like homeless thing with a can of beans and shit, right? Is that
he fucks up Christopher Lloyd, which I think was, but that was only funny because of Christopher Lloyd.
Again, I remember, that's the only thing I remember. I don't remember if he had a clubhouse, and I think that's the Little Rascals actually. But what's it called? And that's what's fucked up sometimes with comedy. Like sometimes the person who has the best set has the most pop references, and I'm like, shut the fuck up and tell a story, you piece of shit. You product placement fuck walking commercial. At any rate.
Well, let's go to your questions. Question time.
Okay, question time, because I have
this will be called the Papicock 30-second question answer.
Okay. What's it called? Okay, so this is a question that I've asked before to other people, and I want to ask you. Okay, so when you start comedy, you do the open mics, you do 3 to 5 minutes. And like, so you work really hard to try to get that 3 to 5 minutes good. Then you try to write other 3 to 5 minute sets. And then you get invited to do like, showcases, whether, it's merit because you're good, or the bringer shows because they're trying to do these predatory business practices on you, or whatever. And so, that 3 to 5 minute set turns into 7-minute sets, turns into 8-minute set, turns into 10-minute set, turns into a 12-minute set. And then, 15-minute sets, 20-minute sets, 25-minute sets, 30-minute sets, 45-minute sets, 60-minute sets. I have a question. How do you write a headliner set?
Wow. So how I've been doing comedy for 17 years. So I think like the time it takes is the more time you perform. Having said that, in 17 years, I truly only feel I am working on a new hour right now, but I would say I only have 15 minutes of that new hour. Mm-hmm. So if I'm being honest with you, I would say I only have, if I put all my material together, I only have 70 minutes. Now, when a comic usually says how much time they have, that's usually half that. So realistically, if I wasn't doing comedy for so long, my 70 minutes, I would only have a half hour. Right?
Yeah, or 35 if you want to be a prick about it. But
yeah. But I have a half-hour special and I have an hour special, and in my mind, I feel I have a very good out. But I'm working on that new 10 minutes and the new hour. And the reason why I think my hour special is so good is because that's all my material that I had from during the time.
Yeah.
Now with this one, it's a lot harder because of pandemic and less shows, and I'm not getting, I'm not touring with amazing comics right now, but so I have a lot to learn. So I'm kind of learning it as I go without any help, which to me I'm scared of, because now I'm scared, is it going to be just as good, or is it just going to be an hour that I'm not proud of, which I don't want. I want it to be what I'm proud of.
Absolutely. So you can release it, promote it, and just stand by your work like a fucking proud artist. And yeah, I feel that. And it's just like, but dude, that means you care, which means that it's going to come out good because you want to stand behind it.
I'm hoping it doesn't take me 17 years, though. I'm hoping it takes me 3 years. The rest of this year, hopefully next year, it'll be more raw dogging shows, you know.
So to write a headliner set, are you pretty much stitching together 15-minute sets?
No, I'm putting it together 3 minutes at a time, because that's how I started. So I would write 3 minutes, and then I perform it and I polish it till I'm happy with those 3 minutes, and then I move on and I connect it like a word puzzle.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but keep in mind, I don't do open mics, so that's where my weakness is. There's nothing wrong against open mics. I mean,
why don't you do open mics? And I'll tell you why I don't do open mics after you say it. But I do some open mics, so I'm a fucking hypocrite. But why don't you do open mics? I'll tell you why I don't do a lot of open mics. That's an accurate statement.
This is gonna make me sound like a fucking dick, but I don't do open mics because I'm not an open micer. I'm a professional comic.
No, you are a professional comic, but
I don't do open mics because I have no reason to practice my jokes in front of other comedians, where I need to practice in front of audiences.
Okay, what about an open mic that has an audience? Would you be down to do that?
I do that, like at the Rec Room or at the Improv or something. I don't like doing it. So then you do some open mics. They're just selective open mics. Yeah, but it's not on top of my food chain.
Okay, Keith, I wasn't talking about top of your food chain. I was just talking about a general comedy question. Sometimes you're not on a show. Sometimes you're really like, dude, I got this new bit. I got to say it right now.
Well, I'm trying to answer your question. So
absolutely. Sorry. I wasn't trying to overstep.
When I'm doing shows.
Yeah.
If they say, hey, you have 10 minutes, I'll say, okay, I'll do 5 minutes of gold, and then I'll do the 5 minutes I'm writing, so I could get a feel for that. Or, hey, I love it when they give me the 20-minute spots, because then I could say, hey, I'll do 5 minutes of gold, make them already love me, and then I'll do the 15 minutes that I'm working on.
Fuck. Yeah, those are great spots.
Headlining is very hard, because when I get booked the headline, I have to do good. So I'll do, out of my hour, I'll probably do 45 minutes of the good stuff, and then I'll do the 15 minutes I'm working on. But I like the short sets when I'm writing on something new, because then I can polish it. Where headlining, I have to worry about being funnier than everyone on the show, because I'm the headliner. So I can't worry about the new stuff I'm writing. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. So there's no new material while you're headlining, or there is, possibly, depending on how you're feeling in the mood.
When I'm headlining, there's the 15 minutes that I'm working on.
Mm-hmm.
But no, there's not new material. When I'm featuring, there's new material. When I'm hosting, there's new material. But yeah, so that's how I take it. I take it 3 minutes at a time. And like I said, right now, I only have another half hour written, and out of that, 15 minutes is working. So I got to really hit the stages and also it's about rewriting. You know, I feel comics feel writing is rewriting. So I feel if you write a joke that you've been doing for a while, you could always rewrite that to a different dynamic. And it will be a new joke.
Yeah, man, that's fucking. Sorry, I'm like reacting out loud. I should have internalized. I was like, holy shit. That was, yeah.
I mean, you probably thought he's full of shit.
No. I said, holy shit. Like, I'm like, like this is great.
I'm
this
full
is
of shit.
no, that shit is pure gold. Then you're the golden goose with a shitty shit that's made out of gold. If that is shit.
I also write in a weird way where this is actually something Norm taught me. I write the punchline first and then I write to the setup, where I would say 99% of comics write setup first, then punchline.
Wow. That is sometimes sometimes when you think of jokes, sometimes the premises come up first, but sometimes the punchline is what you think of first, and then you have to turn that into a story or turn that into a fucking one-liner or add that into something you already have. Like, oh, that would fit perfectly right here in this part of my set, or this part of my act, this part of this bit, this part of this story, whatever, and it's just you just sprinkle it in. And so that's what's beautiful about comedy. Like you could just add things in last minute that work. Sometimes they don't work, but like you have faith that they will. But
the other thing is, like, when you write with other comics, everyone tries to. I mean, I've done this with you, where I'll give you a tag or something. I'll say you should do this, but when I'm doing it, I do that too. This is what I would do because I think it would work for me. And when I do it for you, it doesn't necessarily, well, I know it'll work with you. It'll just work with me. So if you try it, it should work for you, where there's no evidence that it will work for you. You know
okay,
what I mean?
Absolutely. But like, here's like a different example. One of my clean comedy friends,
Told me how long has he been sober?
he does Christian comedy, and so he's a clean comic. But I don't know, to answer your question. Probably a long time. I don't think he does drugs or drink alcohol, or even maybe wine once in a while, like with a stick.
I was trying to make a joke.
No, I know, but I'm just all like, hey, I'm not trying to slander this dude. But Jesus Christ, I forgot the fuck I was gonna say about him. But
you're supposed to say, one time he asked me what was heroin like. I was like, oh
no, we got no, god damn it. What the fuck were we just talking about? Was it evaluating jokes? Jesus Christ, about joke writing. Anyway, I had a brain fart, so fuck that. I'm gonna fucking remember.
I do that on purpose. I apologize. All right, next question.
Okay. You prick. Anyway, yes, thank you. I'm gonna start answering my guests like that. You fucking prick. Anyway, yeah, fucking prick. No. Okay, so this is another writing question. How does writing on stage? Oh, this is a two-parter. How does writing on stage versus writing beforehand differ? And how do you write on stage and feel more in the moment?
So it's different because when you write before you go up, you kind of have a guideline of what you're going to say or do, and then you could follow the guideline, which guidelines usually work. If you ever put together a vacuum and you follow it by the guideline, the vacuum will work 90% of the time, right? However, if you go up with not a guideline and you try to write on stage, you're in the moment. And this is where tape recording and video really does help, because when you're in the moment, sometimes you forget what you said in the moment unless you have it recorded. I've never recorded or tape record my set because, one, I find my voice very annoying, and two, I am so self-conscious about my weight that I can't watch myself. And that's just even when I do acting and stuff. So I think it's more dangerous to go up and write on stage, especially if you don't know how the crowd is. But I also think it's more risky. And I think risky, especially right now in this form of comedy, is what people are looking for. Because there's comics you see go up stage where, like Ian Bagg, for example, I think he's great, but his crowd work is all written. He doesn't just go up in the moment, but he makes the audience think it's in the moment.
Because it feels like, it's pre-written crowd work. I have shit like that too. About like when somebody's heckling me or fucking talking over my set, and I talk to them directly and I turn it sexual. And it's just like, it's
podcasting. This is where podcasting is a huge tool in comedy, where I'm not going up a lot, but my podcast still makes me a strong comedian, because if you interview people to make, what I'm trying to say is, right now, technically, no one is listening to this. It's just you and me. However, in a month, it could be 300 people. And then in 4 months, it could be 5,000 people. And then in 5 years, it could be 1 million people. Absolutely. So So it makes you a better comic, and not just a comic, an artist and a writer, because you're learning tools on how to do this for when there is an audience.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things, like I'm actually being dead sincere about it. I'm very proud of you that you're doing a podcast, which I know I have been telling you should interview more people.
You have. And actually, I was just thinking about it in my head and what's stopping me. And to be honest with you, man, like a premium OnlyFans subscription is the same amount as a Zoom subscription, which is $15 per month. And even though it's whatever, that's what it is. And I just need to.
Hey, look, I understand money's tight right now. And if you ever need to borrow a Zoom account, I have no problem letting you borrow money.
Dude, are you fucking kidding me, dude? Dude, you'll expedite my Zoomness if you could fucking help me with that. But that's just like, dude.
As long as you do it and take it serious, like this.
Yeah, absolutely. That's all I ever. I don't know if you. I don't expect
more than
you
honored to help you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And that's like, oh man, it's like Victor and Keith have a touching moment. And it's just, and it's not even fucking for fakesy. God damn, dude. No. You want to know something though? I'd rather pay $15 a month to some major corporation, whatever, lose out on that money, than inconvenience you and put a strain on our friendship. That's something I could just nip in the butt.
Inconvenience me. You can never see that. That's the thing where I think you don't get, because you do hit me up when you're down and all that stuff. It's very true. Yes. Absolutely. Victor, I suffer from depression too. And here's the thing. You can never inconvenience me. Sometimes you might get me where like, oh God, this is the same fucking story and it's just Monday. You know what I mean? But at the same time, I could never be mad or disappointed in you, because like I said, I know you, I know your heart, and I know you suffer from demons too. And the fact that you do comedy, that you have the heart of, you just really want to make people laugh first. And sometimes, you know, when you say, oh, this gig doesn't pay, it disappoints me, because I feel you don't understand what you have. You know what I mean?
I honest to God, that's like some entitlement bullshit I learned in the Bay, to be honest with you. And I think the motto just needs to change to just like, if I don't pay to do comedy, that's it. Because I've never paid to do comedy. I've never paid $5.
There's nothing wrong with making. That's not what I said. There's nothing wrong with making money. So don't confuse.
Oh yeah. No, but I mean, it's just sometimes with some gigs, I'm just like, dude, this shit's fucking sold out. This shit fucking used to pay this amount, and now it doesn't. So what the fuck's up with that? It's not like I did less of a job or did less time or fucking had a weaker set than the time before, when I've been having consistently good sets that I'm willing to fucking send anybody a copy about. But it's just not about like, oh, well, you know, did you do, you know, it's just like, because like, I'm not lying about I'm not misrepresenting this case, but anyway, no, we got like about 3 minutes left, and I want to value the last 3 minutes with just thanking you for doing this show, because all these other questions are going to be like very, very long. But no, we're going to have you back for sure if you're willing to come back and do another episode in the future.
We'll do another episode after Vicky. We'll continue.
Oh, no. I got to take a taxi and go to
a right. You got to go to the Laugh Factory.
Yeah, I got to go to Laugh Factory.
The Laugh Factory.
Dude, and then I got to do a clean set, but it's only 2 minutes. Hey, is proud.
Just don't do drugs.
It's proud Samoan lesbian woman clean. Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's no swear words in that. And then I'm going to talk about drinking and substitute teaching and all that jazz. And like, it's going to be sick, man. And then like, then it says no notes, but I'm like, I'm going to write on my hand. You can't take that away from me. You know?
You're too good for notes.
I'm talking about bringing notes on stage, pulling out a phone, pulling out something where it's going to take my eye.
You don't need it.
Well, I mean,
got it.
Okay. I appreciate that enthusiasm, that positivity, because that's what I need right now.
Here's an example to help you with that. Write it before you go up stage on notes, and just keep writing it on different, like front side, back side, fold it. And then when you're on stage, you'll have it memorized in your brain.
Absolutely. But I also have this cheat where I could just write one word of the entire fucking joke and write a total of like 8. And then like it just looks, you can't even see it. And so I'm just like, even if because if I get nervous, like I'm just like, what was I talking about?
You wanted another impression before we go.
Oh my God. I didn't know you were a mind reader. But yeah.
So this is my impression of Keanu Reeves in The Matrix. All right. Keanu Reeves from The Matrix. Ready?
Mm-hmm. I really hope that showed up because you're not making noise. And so for the viewers at home listening and not on YouTube, Keith did some act outs from martial art movies. At any rate, this is not culture appropriation at all. This is culture celebration. And Keith, where can the people at home find you?
Keith Reza, social media, REZA. Got a website, Instagram, Twitter. You can also subscribe, rate, and review to Apple Podcasts on Reza Rifts that has me and you on it.
Yeah, and like Norm Macdonald and Bob Saget and like all these like humongous comedy names. I mean, besides Victor Pacheco, obviously, but Keith's giving me a lot of credit. But I love Keith a lot. He's a fucking funny dude. Listen to his podcast, Reza Rifts. It's a really great program. I've had the pleasure to write on it, to co-host on it. I've had really good times on that show, and I look forward to any shows that I'm on in the future. So be on the lookout for those.
This is my impression of a cowboy.
What the fuck is wrong with you? I'm trying to do the outro. What the fuck's wrong with this?
Oh, right.
Oh, no, this is beautiful. But this is authentic as fuck. I want to thank everybody for tuning in for Papicock Podcast. Come through, tell your friends, share this episode, let the people know. And please support live stand-up comedy. Please support Reza Rifts Podcast. Please support Papicock Podcast and come to our shows. Check me out at HispanicTitanic.com or all social media. Puro Papi Pacheco, PuroPapiPacheco. A lot of P's. And so let's do this together. Love you guys so much. Thanks for tuning in. See you next time.